We have spoken about so much, but the biggest question is, when can a mutual separation agreement be revoked? Welcome to Work, Law, and the Drama. And in today's conversation, we're just going to look at, yes, you think you may have done all the right things, but when can it be voided? And remember, we are looking at it from a legal perspective and from a HR perspective. I'm very curious, Jane. I know that's a very legal question, but from your understanding, when do you think a mutual separation agreement can be voided?
If the process is not followed, and therefore one person feels like it's not mutual, it's not voluntary, it's not consented for, without any coercion, then it cannot be valid.
So the first one for you is it must be. If it is not voluntary,
then you can't talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Number two, if you don't follow the process,
Yes.
because everybody must be given the hearing for them to fully understand.
Yes.
Why me? Why am I being the one that is being mutually separated and not Stella?
Yes.
Yes. So just that, the minimums of the Employment Act terms of the due process, substantive justice, procedural justice.
Yes.
Those two have to also be in place for that process to just be valid. Number two, if you have a contract and then you do not honor it, if you sign that agreement and as the employer or as the employee you do not honor it, then it can actually be voided.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So over to you.
I like that. You've actually said three things. Number one, must be amicable. No one is being forced to sign it.
Yes.
Number two, you've stated that due process must be followed. And just to go back to whichever episode that was.
Yeah, could be two or three.
Was it? Yes. Where we stated that process means even before you give it, you're minuting it.
Yeah.
And demonstrating that there's fairness. So due process being followed. And then the third one was?
Just adhering to the terms of the agreement.
Adhering to the terms.
If you say you're going to pay me 4 months' pay and you're paying me on my last working day, then I've gone and it is 3 months down the line and you still haven't paid me.
Exactly.
Then we really can't have an agreement.
So the employer must honor the terms there.
If you say we are not going to have we are going to have confidentiality, then you as the employer, you go spreading things about the employer or the vice versa, then again, really,
Yes.
it can be revoked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also the other thing that we raised, the question of discrimination or targeted. And I think you also raised it in part one.
Yeah.
If this particular employee is being targeted or a certain set of employees are being given better benefits, then of course that is something that would lead to mutual separation agreement being deemed as voided. Then also something you've said, time. You said it early in the other episodes. If you're not granted sufficient time to actually consider it, you're being told sign it here and now. Otherwise, the valid, or the way they do with loans.
Yeah.
If you do not sign it within the next 7 days, the offer is no longer applicable.
Exactly, yes.
So if you're telling an employee, if you do not sign it within the next 20 minutes or 30 minutes, then we are going to fire you. Of course, that is going to void it.
And of course, including also constructive dismissal. Constructive dismissal is when we actually just want to get rid of you.
Yes.
And therefore, like the case we talked about, I think in episode 1, where someone came and in 15 minutes they're being told, you know what, because of this. So we all know we just want to get rid of you. There is no good reason, but we just want to get rid of you.
As a matter of fact, where mutual separation agreements are being masked as a termination.
Constructive dismissal, actually, yes.
It is being masked as a termination. It's a termination, but you're just trying to make it very flowery. Then that is not a mutual separation agreement if you're trying to hide behind it. And the court is able to see that in so long as that you're trying to demonstrate to this particular employee that we really want you out. And the context matters. And that's why the courts keep asking, what were the surrounding circumstances leading to the mutual separation agreement?
Yeah.
Then it can be voided. Is there any other?
Yeah. I think also where we ask employees to resign.
Yeah.
Like you don't want this particular person, so you go and tell them, you know what, resign. They tell you I don't have reason to resign, which is almost like constructive dismissal.
It is
Or they even come and tell you, for me, I want a mutual separation, but then it is not documented. So it is them asking you, and then for you as the employer, you go ahead and draft. Then later they come and say, you know what, I didn't ask for it. I was called and I was told to sign here. But in the real sense, the employee had requested for it, but that was never documented.
Yes.
Because they know where they're getting into. So it has to be the documentation bit of it.
Yeah.
If there's no documentation to back up the whatever that we are discussing,
Conversation, yeah.
then it's never happened. You'll just assume. And the employer always has the burden of proof because then he's a bigger boy in that particular conversation.
Exactly.
So if I'm saying I was constructively dismissed and you can't prove it, then as the employer, then it can also be voided.
Incidentally, the courts have said when an employee states that the mutual separation agreement was forced on them,
They have to prove.
it is the onus.
It's on them, yeah, sure, sure, yeah, sure, yeah.
It's on the employee.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
But also something else I'll have to add as we wind up this particular conversation. If you deny the employee the opportunity to seek independent legal advice because you want them to accept your terms on an as-is basis and there's no room, no wiggle room to negotiate,
Yeah.
then that is not a mutual separation agreement that can be upheld in law. So thank you so much for having us for this particular conversation. I now know you are able to actually look from a legal perspective and a HR perspective whether a mutual separation agreement is lawful and what factors could render it unlawful. In our next conversation, we're going to have more around what are the written and unwritten terms of a mutual separation agreement. Thank you.